what's the deal with Northwest Indiana still not having power? Hmm. I don't know. They had a derecho come through there with those 100-mile-an-hour winds, and it really messed some stuff up. So when that happened, that caused the collapse of the infrastructure. Okay, it's going to take a while for it to be rebuilt. This is the area, Northwest Indiana, that is still suffering power outages, which kisses up against Illinois. Okay, so there you can see. I think they're going on 9 days with no power. 100-mile-an-hour derecho winds. Okay, look up derecho or derecho on YouTube so you can see the damage that they do. Now, I just posted a video about a weather anomaly that popped up over Texas in a perfect circle. And this anomaly was popping up over that area before the storm. Not that same circle, but there was another that they were reporting on. Something strange happening in the atmosphere. Now, okay, a lot of people believe that the current administration has unleashed. Now, if you want to say seals, they ain't no heavenly seals open. But a lot of people do believe that knows the insides of these shadow governments that they've opened up certain seals on us, the citizens of this country and the citizens of the world, with certain weapons. Okay, I'm gonna continue to say that now. You see this? All right. So I'm gonna do something here.
Yes, Northwest Indiana has significant development plans, including major economic and infrastructure projects. A key highlight is the Chicago Bears considering a multi-billion-dollar stadium in Hammond.
Okay. Now let me see if I can. Okay, that's the highest my value can go. Let's get a. I hope my microphone is picking this up. Let's pick this up one more time.
Yes, Northwest Indiana has significant development plans, including major economic and infrastructure projects. A key highlight is the Chicago Bears considering a multi-billion-dollar stadium in Hammond.
Okay, that's Hammond, Northwest Indiana. Okay, not too far from Gary. Highlight profiles, as she just said. Transit oriented development, TOD. The completion of the $650 million South Shore Line double tracking and the Westlake uh, Corridor Rail expansion and are driving massive localized real estate and investment. Okay. Michigan City high rise, $100 million Franklin uh, at the 11th Street Station project is bringing upscale apartments, retail, and dining to downtown Michigan City. Talking about North. This is what's because of the Bears and some other things coming. Infrastructure, and logistics. Okay. Now, oh, wait a minute. Let's get on some help with the idle balls. I just was just curious about why are we seeing this? Why are we not getting their power back? I understand it was a strong storm, but I was just curious. What's happening in this area down the road? Borman Expressway Flex Road in this area where they're having a blackout at for 9 days. Implementation of 127 million in smart road technology along 180, I-80, and 94 to manage heavy freight and commuter congestion. Hmm. Port of Indiana Burns Harbor, a $77 million modernization initiative featuring a new ocean container terminal, an upgrade rail yards. I'm not saying nothing. I'm just wanting to see what's going to be popping off over there. Okay. This is Northwest Indiana. Okay. Is there any further expensive infrastructure projects in this area where they're having this anomaly of power being out? Okay. All right. Let's go with some more information about Indiana. Listen to this.
Indiana's Governor Mike Braun is partnering with Israel through a $60 million public-private program called Iron Nation Indiana. This initiative aims to link Israeli technology companies with Indiana's resources, focusing on areas like agricultural technology, defense, and the life sciences.
Okay. Study, research, study, research, study, research, study. Iron Nation, Indiana, to connect Israel technology set startups with Indiana's universities, corporations, and research ecosystems. Backed by a $15 million state investment, the venture targets sectors including agriculture technology, defense tech, and life science. What would not make me think that you're not doing a study now on Northwest Indiana? Oh, bruh, that's your tinfoil hat. Why is it taking so long? Why is the government not helping these people during this heat wave? Ain't no different when sleazy Joe Beasy was in office. All of them were all sacrifices to them. Come over here and experiment so that Israel is in our back pocket. Initiative, Iron Nation, Indiana. Total funding exceeds 60 million, state investment 15, committed through the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. Private commit over over 30 million raised by Israel based on Iron Venture Group. Key areas of focus: agriculture, tech and plant health, life science and med tech, collaborating with local healthcare systems and research universities, business expansions, providing high potential Israel firms incentives and pathways to set up U.S. headquarters or operational hubs in Indiana. Is it going to be Northwest Indiana? No. It's going to be set up just outside of Indianapolis. So I just find it funny that you guys are making this investment with Israel, okay, on a research system, on a private partnership called Iron Nation Indiana, and Indiana in Northwest Indiana, a same place where you plan on redeveloping and partnering with Illinois because of this Chicago Bear thing. I always like to say, anytime you take an area where you got a lot of people where you don't want them at, can you false flag a weather system? Yes, if you just seen the video I uploaded on your own ScumTube, they just manipulated something over the state of Texas in a perfect circle disc form. Looks like a portal caught on the weather radar system. So let's keep an eye out and see what happened down there. Okay. So you had a derecho that come through with 100-mile-an-hour winds, knocks out the infrastructure over here. But at the same time, in that same area, you plan on rebuilding anyway. I don't know, man. It's just funny. Now you got Israel coming to the state to do what? To help you do. I don't something means something. Peace.
Those lights went out in Indiana. They're building a massive new AI data center. And when I say massive, I'm talking about 1,000 acres. But that's not the only thing. In Sullivan County, Indiana, the crew that is working on that data center hit a power line that supplies tornado sirens. Now, that's just what they're saying, that they made a mistake and hit a power line while they're building that AI center. I wouldn't doubt it if they're taking that power and pushing it towards that AI data center and just calling it a power outage. We all know that those those AI centers require something very big, a lot of land and a lot of power. And the fact that they've been without power for 8 or 9 days, what happens if a tornado comes through while those sirens aren't working? And if you notice, they're building these massive AI facilities in rural areas where the land is cheap. A lot of them are being placed in predominantly black and low income communities. They don't care about people living in these communities. Those AI centers are profitable. We all remember what happened before. Remember when they ran highways through black communities? They put up factories, refineries, landfills, not to mention toxic industries around black communities. And what happened? Those families were left dealing with pollution, sickness, displacement, and reconstruction. And that's
I want to start on the tail end. I'm gonna put this all on one video. So, Indiana got my curiosity piqued a little bit, and as the young lady said, uh, data centers. Now, I just showed where in Indiana, the governor is making a pact with Israel and technology and research and development and investment. Just so happens, and I went in. Holy Spirit told me to type in what development is happening in that area, and so I googled it. But so now let's Google what this young lady is saying. Hold on. So the young lady was correct. Okay, what part of Indiana? Let's see if I can get this to open up without it exiting out. Are they building data centers at? Well, it just shows me where the current ones are at. But at the same time, this is the same area, Hammond, where they are experiencing East Chicago. So let's open this. Let's go back. Same area, Gary, Indiana, and then you got Chicago right there. The line splits the border, but mostly here. So, but if they are building them, okay, let's see. There's Hammond right there, Chicago Heights. So you right there at the border, okay, right there at the border. Now, all you got to do is just do a little research. Gary, Indiana is also an area out that way. All that area is, again, future development for the NFL, Chicago Bears home stadium. Just I just showed you all on this one video. Gary, Indiana is currently weighing proposed data center developments amid intense community pushback, environmental concerns, and raising electricity costs linked to regional heavy power usage and grain and grid strains. Now, it was a derecho that came through there, folks, during that storm. Okay. So, if you want to make a people submit, you can just do stuff to them. Now that it's down, and now that the grid is down, when you rebuild, you didn't want it when we asked the nice way. Think about this. Put this in your dome piece. I'm showing you, not me, Google. I just Googled all this information, their future plans. And to back that young lady on Fleas and TikTok, they have, just as she said, they have major kickback. Here it is on their search engine. Community concerns and debates. Grid strain. Residents and local groups like Just Transition Northwest Indiana have raised alarms over massive energy demands straining the local utility grid managed by NIPSCO. Utility billing. Local advocacy forums point to raising residential electric costs tied to the infrastructure demand from major tech and data centers investments. I just read all that to you. Spanning northern Indiana. I just read all that to you. This is just a receipt. Environmental risk. Opposition groups cite heavy water usage for cooling. Oh my goodness. Push for moratoriums. Local organizations are pushing city officials to pause decisions, demand complete transparency, and evaluate long term impact before approving tax incentives for zoning. It don't matter. They're gonna give them incentives to set up. It ain't gonna. It don't. It's the reason why I said I never voted. Government is not your friend. It's the beast. They will walk all over their citizens. They don't care what y'all think. And if you don't want to agree, we'll just wipe you out with one of our weapons in wickedness in high places. That's all. So we'll just knock it down on purpose. Well, why would they go through all of that? I just don't understand these videos y'all make. This is just way too much. Way too much. How's it way too much when I'm doing a free research to show you that the area that is being talked about nationwide is currently having future plans to put things there by the B system? Not of God, but of the B system. I just did it right in front of your face, and people will still say, that's just a coinky dink. Ain't no such thing in the world no more. Not when I'm reading you. Israel's coming over here to invest. We're talking about millions and billions of dollars, folks. And you got people standing in the way of that say no, that really ain't got the money to say no, but since they live there, I'm speaking too deep for some of y'all, so I'm just going to end the video. Anyway, y'all, I just want to put that out there for you and hope this reaches somebody's brain piece.